I don't know how to respond to that.
You don't.
So it turns out that my test was probably just me being lazy and tired. Because I woke up this morning and I'm like, I feel like I need to keep sleeping. And I'm like, I feel like there is a reason why. And I'm like, okay, when I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna be like, yeah, okay, that's why I needed to. Like, there's gonna be a reason, like something that clicked or an idea or something. And I woke up and I'm like, I think I was just tired. And the thing is, like, I just went to bed late yesterday and the night before. So it's like, I have no excuse, no one to blame. And I'm like, I guess I was just tricking myself into thinking there was a reason just because I was lazy and tired.
I feel like that's, I don't know, like it got you to actually rest. So it's like our brains do all these weird pretzel things to get us to do stuff that needs us to do, but I don't know, it's just kind of funny.
I mean, ironically, it just makes me feel guilty. Because, like, you've been doing a lot of work lately, and I'm like, I feel like I'm doing nothing. And then on top of that, I'm like, yeah, let me just postpone the meeting and sleep for no reason whatsoever. And I'm like, yeah, that just makes me feel like even more of a mooch.
Well, I mean, I was actually gonna text you like a couple minutes before 10, be like, hey, I just like I put the girls down, like I haven't even showered yet. Like I just had like a really packed morning, so like I'm probably gonna be late. And then you text me like 10 minutes before, like before I had even gotten a chance to get on my phone. You're like, hey, I'm just gonna be late. So I was like, yes, exactly what I wanted. So in some ways, it's just sort of like what I needed.
Okay. Well, in that case, you're welcome.
Yeah, it's like you're already being the universe, showing up exactly the way that people need before they even ask. You know, it was really funny that the message that you sent me, I guess it was yesterday already. You had said something about, oh, just how like you were looking at the story through the lens of like, dude, you're a badass. I have never ever thought of myself as a badass, but it's like coming from somebody who I consider to be one of the more denominated badasses in my life. It's like there's clear things that you can point to that people would agree. It's like, yeah, that is badass. It's like to hear that repeated from you, it's like, oh, like I see that in you, like as well, from somebody who is the expert in my life. It's like that was a really cool insight to get to see myself from that angle. That was really neat. So I appreciate it. Thank you for sharing it.
You're welcome. It's the truth, and it's like that's the thing. As you're stepping more and more into who you are meant to be,
Mhm.
and just like sharing the stories and connecting with people, and building the business, it's just making me realize like you're awesome, and it's also making me realize like what do I bring to the table? Like, what the hell am I doing? Because I feel like it's funny. I feel like I'm getting exactly what I wanted, except that I'm feeling very guilty about it. So it's like I wanted someone to help me do all the things that I don't want to do and
Mhm.
do very minimal work to get the results that I want. I'm like,
Mhm.
that's pretty much exactly what's happening. But it's like, I feel like I'm not doing anything. And I'm like, why do I deserve this?
Mm.
It doesn't seem fair that you're doing most of the work right now. It's like, why would I get a cut?
Mhm.
Like, that's what's going on in my head right now.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I feel very similar. Like I'm like, here you are, like you've kind of cut ties from all of the artificial part of like our society structure of like, oh, you have to have like a place, you have to have a job, you have to have a like a traditional family structure. It's like you're like, no, I can like do what I want and like find a way to make it work, and it somehow works, and it's like it doesn't seem like it's gonna work out, and I just believe in myself, and like money comes in. It's the weirdest, most bizarre experience. It's like there's no plan for how this is like the proof of like this is why it's gonna work, but it's just working. It's like without questioning it. And it's like, and the fact that you give so much of your time and like your life and your day just spending it with me, and like having that, like sharing that space with me is like what's the word I'm looking for? It's it's invaluable. Like you can't put a price on it, and like time is irreplaceable. And but the fact that like you're here with me, giving off like the thing that you do, which is like just go do something, try something, have an adventure with your life. It's like that's kind of just like oozing off of you. And I'm like, I'm reaping the benefit of like, this is giving me the energy to just work and grind. And like, and it doesn't feel hard. It's just weird.
All right, first of all, stupid comment. When you were saying like it's oozing off him, like, oh, sorry, I guess I should take a shower. But the thing is, because you're doing the same thing, we're both like, it's not just me here spending this time. It's like we're both here spending this time.
Mhm.
And it's like that is amazing. Like that's what allowing us to grow so quickly and move so forward so quickly.
Yeah.
But on the outside of that, it seems like you're doing 90% of the work, I'm doing 10% of the work.
But it doesn't feel hard. It feels fun, at least for me. And so it's like I'm fine with that. Like I'm totally fine with that. It's, I mean, whether you're gonna measure it by like hours spent and stuff created, like I don't think that is like a true representation of our business. Is like I think a more accurate snapshot of what our business actually is our friendship. So it's like measuring the hours just from like a spreadsheet way of slicing the data. It's like it's not going to give you a complete picture of what it is. So I mean, if it was just literally like a transaction where it's like, okay, well, whoever's spending this amount of time, whatever the profits are, they're going to get this amount of the results. It's like, but that's not entirely what this is. It's something different. It's something more than that. And so it's like it doesn't it doesn't compute that way fully, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I guess you're right, because right now, like, we are launching your thing.
Hmm.
But further down the line, we're probably at some point going to launch like my thing, and then I'm going to be
Yeah.
the one to have to do more work. So I guess it's just
Hmm.
because it's the beginning and because you're the first one who has to do a lot of work, I'm
Hmm.
like, yeah, but what am I doing in all this? And this reminds me of something that came up yesterday when you were sharing. It's like when you were sharing everything, that sensation of like, wow, it's impressive the fact that you had like all that on your plate and you were able to keep going. And it's
Hmm.
like when you were describing like days, it's like you'd wake up at like, 4 or 5 a.m. and then go till like 9. I was like, whoa, that's insane. And part of me was like astonished and amazed by that. And another part of me was, well, from one perspective, yes, I'm being lazy because I never went to that extent. From another perspective, you're just being an idiot because you're working yourself to death and I'm having fun. So I'm like, like I saw both sides of the coin, and it was a
Right.
very good experience.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like it's so hard to tell because you can see so many different sides and pieces of things. It's like there isn't really a right or a wrong way to do it. And I think the thing is like if you just like froze everything and it's like nothing will ever change. It's like if you're spending that much energy, expending that much energy and getting not a lot of results, then it is stupid. But it's like if in that moment it's like this gives me a way to kind of sprint and get like some experience and then like step back, and in that like moment where I'm not doing any work, I'm reflecting on what happened. It's like, oh, what did I learn? Oh, this was actually really valuable. I could tell about that. This is like useful for marketing. And this was it's like um it's a it's a more complex equation to kind of look at those things. And so anyway, just really, really interesting. Hey, I don't know if you have any interest whatsoever, but do you want to be one of the people in the on the Wednesday thing? It might be interesting to kind of kick off early, like with some floaching, to kind of help me get me in the zone. But also, I'm like, there's something interesting. There's something here about you just showing up on a call, and I'm able to put in 80 hours of work that feels like play, and being able to launch a product. Um, or like I went through that experience and I'm being a badass when it's like you're one of the main reasons I was able to get through it. It's like just you're not like I don't know how you say that in marketing terms, but it's like this isn't a program. It's like the person that you are is like a magnet that helps pull you forward in your life to do the things that you need to do. It's like if you need like a tow truck to get back on like keep moving towards your purpose. It's like that's what Guillaume is. It's like when you feel like you've hit a wall, and it's like, all right, I'm out of gas. I know I'm supposed to do something. I have no idea what to do. I'm just standing still. It's like just getting around you creates this movement, and it's like you're not even doing anything. It's,
All
I
right,
think
first
there's
of all,
not.
yeah, like whatever you need, I'll do there. I'll like it'll be my pleasure to do it. I always enjoy like chilling, and if there's any way that I can help while you're doing all the work, more than happy to do it. The other thing that came up was when you said like a tow truck, I just picture like a giant toe-shaped truck. I'm like, yep, that would pretty much accurately describe me. Just like some very strange, unexpected thing that just is there that exists.
And it sounds like Larry the Cable Guy.
Gotta get her dead.
All
um,
right. So today, what I wanted to do is outline um, the post of the offer. So it's like for people who are starting to pay attention, like I'm in Brian's group promoting, like I'm gonna help everybody on Wednesday. Like I'm gonna create the event, and then I'm gonna share the offer. This is what you're gonna get if you raise your hand and say I want to participate. But I want to do it with like it's not super technical explaining of like the point isn't you're going to get this many hours with me, you're going to get a week of support, you're going to get a private little group like pop-up group where we finish your offer out. It's like I want to demonstrate the feeling of working with me with the testimonials that people have given, and then that stuff is sort of like the detail. Like it's like once you're already sold, it's like okay, this is what Aaron's offering. It's like Wednesday I need to make space for this because I'm gonna be like I want in on that thing that he's giving me. So that's the goal is I want to tell the things that I need to tell to structure an emotional appeal, to reduce your overwhelm, have a super clear message so that you feel like you can start like sprinting towards let's get more clients in my business. And
By the way, this
yeah,
reminds me, because it, from my perspective, I mean, the downside of you doing most of the work is sometimes you come up with stuff like that and you're like, I'm doing this. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're doing.
okay.
So
Oh, here, let me.
just clear, like, is this a free thing? Is it a paid thing? Is it something free to lead to the paid thing? Like, what exactly is this?
So okay, so I'm sharing my screen so you can see um, this thing, and then I'll explain what I'm doing. So in terms of a product launch process, what I'm doing is I'm trying to warm the group. I'm trying to interact with as many possible people as I can in the group so that when I post the offer, when I post the invitation to the webinar, there's people have already experienced that I'm there to help. I'm just giving because it's who I am. It's not about trying to get money out of people. It's like, this is what I can do for people. And here's a clear demonstration of expertise. So that's the goal, is like, I'm doing this stuff as part of a launch sequence, and it is work, it is time invested in, and I'm doing stuff, but the goal is to, like, once we've done this once, step back and be like, where can we trim the fat so I'm not actually investing the same volume of effort and time. But I'm also trying to, like, okay, so I've helped 3 or 4 people and they've given me great feedback. I want to do like rapid fire. Let's do that same process for a handful more people just to validate that what happened there wasn't an accident. It's like, if I say, this is who I can help, let's sit on a call, let's actually help you that same way and see if I can get the same result and repeat it, then it's like, okay, I've done this for, 5, 10, 12 people, and this is what they all have to say. It's like, this helped me feel like I was ready to launch my business. This got me my first client. This gave me exactly the message that I needed to know. So I felt good about promoting it. And now I'm just creating content all about it over and over. It's like, whatever that is. So that's the goal. Like, I'm trying to do multiple things here at the same time. But the actual launch plan is, so yesterday I posted the overwhelmed story. And I'm humanizing myself, letting people feel safe to talk to me. Today, I'm going to post the offer with testimonials to just give people an idea of the kind of people that I've worked with. So it's like, here's all the people from this community that you might know that I've helped, that they can chime in the comments and say, vouch for me, or say like, no, don't listen to Aaron, he's a ding dong, whatever. I'm going to provide some testimonials of like some of the more high profile people I worked with too. So it'll be like, this is what it feels like to work with me. And this is what I'm offering for this group is, on Wednesday, I'm going to sit with you and I'm going to work with you one-on-one. I'm going to help you. I'm going to listen to your story and tell you what I think your offer should be. And I'm going to write that in a marketing way based on like that profit pulling thing you shared. It's like, was great case study in terms of the language and the pain points and stuff, just like ticks down the list. So like, how can I craft a similar, it's like, I'm just going to hit all of these pain points in one post so that it's like, the person who wants this, they're going to feel like they're being heard and being called out and being helped. So then tomorrow, what I want to do is an explanation post of why I'm doing this. So it's like, I am planning to launch something, so I want people to see what I can do before I make that offer. So it's like, something's coming. You're gonna have an opportunity to work with me more, but it's like, I'm not doing this because I'm trying to get the money, even though that is one of the reasons I'm trying to do it, is to get the money. It's like, one of the biggest reasons is because I feel like I'm at my best when I'm helping people. I met the guy that wrote the book that got me into business. And he was like, that's the person I want to be. It's like, show up and just become and provide exactly what somebody needs in the moment. That's what I'm trying to do with this thing on Wednesday. That's what I want my program to be. So that's why I'm doing this. I'm becoming this person who just is here to give and to help, whether you work with me and pay me or not. It's like, I just want to help. And that's a big part of what's important to me. It's the people that I've seen that I want to emulate. That's how they show up. That's how I want to show up. And I'm proving that by helping people for free. So that's going to be Monday. And then Tuesday, I'm going to create the event so people can register. And I'm gonna drop the, like, here's all the brands that I've worked for. Here's a couple examples of some of the big results that I've gotten. So it's like I'm putting them in that emotional state. Like, wait a second, you're telling me you've worked with like all of these known name brand entities. You've helped people who have grown their audiences to millions. It's like, that's the caliber of work that you do for the right people. It's like I'm starting to get them in the mode of believing and like feeling, oh shit, like I better sign up for this thing like before I miss out. So, and then Wednesday will be the all-day coachathon session. And so the big idea is you need the right message in front of the right people to get the right results. It's like, if you want clients, you've got to have a clear message and you have to tell it to the right people. You got to share what you know with the people that it helps. And most people aren't sharing most of what they know, and they aren't sharing it with the right people that it can help. They're sharing it to everybody, and anybody that they can help. It's like, it probably is getting lost because they don't know who they're supposed to be talking to. That's what I can help you figure out, is what do you know that people actually should know, and who should you be telling that to? That's what I helped Leslie with. That's what I helped Marcus with. It's like, that's the crux of it. And that's what I have been realizing about what I'm doing, is like, I'm just helping anybody and everybody. It's like, if my business was, a woman, it's like, it's just willing to sleep with everybody. And it's like, you need to just, in order to like be sane, you need to figure out, well, who are the people that actually need to be in my life? Like, who's the people that actually make my life better? It's like, those are the ones I want to spend intimate time with. And so on some level, what I'm doing it for myself, I'm helping other people do. So in the process of me doing what that I'm doing for myself, it's like, I'm just getting better at it by helping people. And that's a big part of what I can do. It's like, I have 20 years of marketing experience, but I didn't realize that was the experience that I had. It was getting good at story, getting good at what is emotional and what gets people invested in what you're talking about, putting the right message in front of the right people. It's like, that's all I've done most of my career. I just didn't realize that, like, you can do that skill set to make sales, to promote yourself, to like create outcomes where you benefit directly. I've been doing it for other people, and just like, it never really totally connected until I started digging into, well, how do you market? How do you sell? How do you build a business? And then I'm realizing, like, wait a second, like, I am this person. I just need to start using my skill set on purpose, intentionally, for this purpose. But it's like, I don't need to copy what other people are teaching, because I've already built 20 years of experience doing this. I need to do it my way, the way that it feels good, the way that is easy for me, and it'll just be easy. So that's part of the message that it's probably a little off point, so I'm not going to dig too much in that. But what I want people to feel through the experience of working with me is like, if you can dig deep into who you really are and find the things that actually people value about you, which is what I'm willing to do, is I'm willing to listen to you long enough to tell you what I think I value about you. And that, I think, is what your biggest gift is. It's not copy what somebody else is telling you to do. Obviously, following somebody's process and doing what they tell you is a great way to learn a way. But really, when we learn from other people and borrow other people's stuff, it's like, you should be looking at the principle underneath what they're doing. It's like, find the thing that's the same between what they're doing, between what other experts are doing, but between the people who are making lots of money and what you already know how to do. And then once you figure out, oh, that's what's happening, that's what's really going on, I have my own way to do that. I'm going to just do that because I already know how to do that. And it's easy for me. It's fun for me. That's what I want to help people crack is you probably like if you don't have a skill set that's valuable to people, you need to go learn the one. And I can't help you. Nobody can. But even if you don't have a skill set, if you're willing to just be friends with people like what you're doing, like you don't have to have any skill to do this. Like if you made friends with rich people and said, I can't do anything except just smile at you and say, I think that's really cool. It's like you could still do that and help people get great results. But if I can help people realize that just the person that they are is very valuable and get them to like turn that switch in their head, then it's like, anything is possible. And then they might start moving forward again. So after Wednesday, and I've got all of this energy, all of these people who are like, oh, thank you so much for helping me. And hopefully I'll get some results. Hopefully some of the people that we work with will like get excited and go do some extra stuff on their own. But the big point is like, okay, so for all of the people that have helped, you're now qualified to work more with me. I want to give you guys a gift. I'm going to work with you some extra time. I'm going to give you access to me in a private little pop-up group for a week. Like as you're testing your offer, if you're putting it out in front of people, or if you're a little confused on what to do next, like ask your questions. Like let's do this as a group like over the next week or so. And what I want to do is like demo for the group. It's like you can launch a group on anything, on any topic, like in 30 minutes. It's like it's super easy. You could do a launch for anything that you realize is a problem to solve in the market, and then get those people to tell you what their experience is and show you what their problems are, so you can say, oh, well, would you like me to help you with that? So the offer of build a Facebook group in 5 minutes a day or something like that to reduce your overwhelm is what I have in mind to offer to people. But what I'm really trying to do is, who are the people who actually show up, who trust me enough to work with me, to get help, and then for them to open up and say, oh, here's what I'm really struggling with. I can at least plug in what their pain points are and say, this will solve your problem. But I'm doing that with people to see like, is maybe what I'm doing like more than really what they want, or it's like extra, like I don't even need to be doing that. Maybe it's just like what I'm actually doing of just interviewing people and helping them get clear on their avatar is the business, and that's valuable enough. I don't know.
I just realized something. Like, we're creating this course built around your expertise, which is community, Facebook groups, networking, things like that. Mm-hmm. I realized I'm like, if let's say we like once we're done this, we launch it and we're like kind of automate the process. We don't really need to do that much work. And we're like, okay, what's next? Mm-hmm. And then we're like, all right, it's my turn to do a course. I was just thinking like, what could I teach? And I'm like, oh, I'm teaching the next level of like, hey, let me show you how to get someone else to build your business for you. So make friends, get them to do the work, split the profits with them. They're super happy to do it just because, I don't know, apparently you're awesome or something. I don't really get it, but like that would be such a strange thing to teach. Like, I'm going to teach you how to make friends with successful people so that at some point you're going to decide to build a business with one of them, and you're going to have to do only very minimal work because they're already successful, so they know what to do and what not to do. So you won't have to waste your time trying to build everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. It just like the thought came up and I'm like, that's a funny concept for a course. Like, I'm going to teach you how to get someone else to build your business.
Maybe you don't even need to teach it. Maybe it's just like, just,
I just need to
just
get someone else to teach it.
yeah, there you go. It's like you just find somebody else that's like, hey, go find out from Aaron, like what I did, and then go teach that. And then I'll split the profits with you.
Uh,
I mean,
but
that to me is like what high output laziness is all about. It's like, how do I not do that and still make money?
yeah, I feel that's the beauty of the arrangement that we have. Like sometimes it's like you're going to be doing a lot of the work to the point where it's like I feel guilty splitting the profits. I'm like I barely did anything. But I'm sure that somewhere down the line, like my thing is more like let's find a very successful funnel,
Mhm.
like copy that funnel exactly and just kind of like build a business in a week. And it's like, hey, that work, like you're gonna get paid for doing literally absolutely no work.
What's that?
How much of it did you miss?
Just the tail end.
Um, anyway, the concept is like I love the idea of rapidly replicating someone else's business and just copying what they're doing. So it's like copying how they're getting traffic, copying their funnel, copying, like all the things, like not literally copying paste, but like copying the exact model and framework and everything. It's like, if it gets to the point where I can do that, it's like, hey, we agreed, like we're in business together. So we split the profits on everything. So it's like, you could make money for literally doing absolutely nothing. So it's like, I
Okay.
think that's the beauty of this arrangement. It's like sometimes one of us does more work, the other time it's the other person, but it's like it can be something completely unrelated.
Yeah. Okay. I think I know what our business
Oh,
is.
okay, just something came up. So it's not about being business partners. Because like, yes, we're partners in the business and we're building it, but it's like it's more we're profit partners. We're like, hey, we like hanging out, we like creating stuff, like chilling together. It's like, let's just split all the money that we make. So it's
Yeah.
like, if it's a completely unrelated business, it's like, hey, we're just splitting the profit. So here's half the money if we're doing nothing.
Okay. I've been turning this idea over and over in my head, and then now I need to focus on the my testimonials after I share this idea. But I really want to flesh this out. I've been thinking hard about the idea of being a pirate, like becoming somebody who like the idea of pillage and plunder and like take something that's not yours. It's like, okay, it's a sexy idea in a fantasy world, like, but like all of the things that come along with that, like in 3D, which is like, murder and like a lot of hard work and manual labor and like survival and like being on the run, those sorts of things. Is like, okay, so but what is the promise of that? Go
It's so
ahead.
funny. Everything you described, aside from the murder, I'm like, that sounds awesome. Like
Right?
living the life of a pirate, like, on the ocean and having like work hard and train, it's like learn how to fight and everything. Like, that sounds amazing.
That's exactly why I think it's a perfect business for you. I think your course or your business should be, my goal is to do zero work and make money. So here's my philosophy and here's how to benefit from it. Like, we don't necessarily say this outright, but it's like if I talk about the principles and get you excited to do it, it's like, if you want my help, you just get more access to my ideas. And I'm not doing any work. I'm not ever going to do any work, but you just get access to like the way that I think. And you go do it. And like, I don't charge money. I charge like a share of equity. And so what your business is essentially giving people the idea and showing them ways that they can, hey, here's a guy that makes $1 million at the thing that you're interested in learning. Go copy and steal all the stuff that he's doing. It's like, figure out how to say in your words, like what these pain points are. Like it's, so the pirate thing is like, it's the same thing as like the funnel hacker mentality. It's like, how do you benefit from what other people have already proven? Well, it's like, it feels like it's stealing, but it's like what Russell is showing is like, well, if you're buying from them in the process, it's like, if you're just more observant than the average customer, it's like, who cares? But the thing is, like, as long as you're not copying and pasting, if you're trying to learn the principle behind what they're doing, you're automatically going to make it more like you than anything else out there. But it's like you're building on the foundation that somebody's already showed is valuable, and then you're making it unique by it being your thing, your story, your ideas. And so it's like, in essence, like you're just learning how to do the principles of business from people who are already really good at it. But it's less work in the sense that you can copy what other people are doing. You can kind of like pillage and steal the best ideas from the people who have the goods, and then you just like kind of sail off into the sunset. So the idea is like, I think this is a big reason like why like the Pirate Bay was such a bit, like the idea of like, oh, you can just like keep copying digital stuff. It's like nobody's getting hurt. It's just like, it's free. It's just a copy of what's happening. So it's like, that was so easy for people. It's like, well, I want that thing. I'm just gonna make a copy of it. It's like, I didn't actually take anything from anyone. I just didn't offer to pay for something that somebody created, but it's in a form where I can, you know, uh, take the ones and zeros and stuff. So it's like, if you're taking that principle and making it attractive to people, it's like get all of the benefit with almost none of the work. And then your business model is literally like, how do I leverage that? And I do zero of the work and just inspire people to go do that. And then they're so grateful in the process, you know, in wanting to know more, in like working with me. It's like I get a cut of their business. And so you're getting other people to experiment and do the work and figure it all out. And then you just repeat what's working to the bigger group. It's like, all right, so, you know, such and such had this great idea, like tell them what it is. And then you just create a platform where people are getting good at copying things and researching what's working for other people.
What you're describing is exactly what I've been trying to do. You know, like when I keep coming back to the whole, right now I lost his name. Jay Abraham.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, that's what he does. He finds a strategy to get paid for doing almost no work.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've been trying to like unlock that. And it's like, now that I'm starting to, I'm like, I feel guilty. They're like, why should I? He doesn't feel guilty. He's become so good that he doesn't need to do the work. He should be fucking proud of that, not guilty.
Well, but I think the secret that most people won't talk about is that the people who are making lots of money, it's like they're actually working just as hard as everybody else who's really successful in service businesses. It's just they've found the thing that they love doing and they want to do that over and over. So it's like, if you can do 1% of the work that it takes to build $1 million business and still benefit from $1 million business, maybe you make $100,000 a year. But it's like, I did 1% of the work to create that business, and I got, you know, I got 10% of the, like, it's like 10x results by doing 1% of the work. It's like, that is a great deal. It's like, I want to do that over and over and over again. It's like the part of me that's like, what can I do that's like, oh, this is fun. I barely have to do anything. I just kind of have the idea and dump it into my team or whatever. And then they go do it. It's like, and then you can really focus on the parts, which is like discovering new things, like supporting the people who are out there doing it. It's like, well, hey, I'll get on a call with you and like you can tell me about it. It's like the things that you actually like to fill your time up with can actually become the thing that drives the engine. And then it's like, I am working, but, and in fact, like this is all I wanted to spend my time doing, but none of it feels like work. Like I feel like I'm expending zero effort, but all of it is productive power now.
I just, an idea occurred to me. Because before, you know, when I was thinking of like, oh, like after watching Russell's webinar, I'm like, okay, it's super easy going in and replicating a funnel to the point where I could train a VA to do it. I'm thinking at that point, I can just get the VA to just build business after business. It's like, okay, that's cool, but I still kind of have to run things and deal with support and like inventory. If it's something physical, it's kind of like, it's minimal work, but there's still work involved. Like, what if I get to the point where I do it a couple times, I'm like, okay, this works. Then what if I just literally make like, announce it to a group like, hey, I'm giving away a business. Who wants a business for free? And I just find a person who's the right fit, teach them how to run the business and be like, hey, I'm giving you this business for free. All we do is split the profits 50-50. So you get a free business, you have minimal work to do, you run everything. I don't do anything because I already went through the process of building the business. So now it's yours and we make 50 on the back end. It's like I could literally get someone else like a VA to build a business, give the business to someone, so I'm helping someone else and get paid recurring income.
Yeah. Okay. See, this is
like
the guy
that could be my sales page. Like, hey, do you want a fully set up, fully functional business for free? Like, you don't even need to pay for it. Like, that is the sales page.
Okay, look at this. Look at this website. This is one of Dane's businesses. So he's like, watch Dane find great, profitable business ideas with the first paying customer. So here's the thing. It's like looking for a validated business idea. So he basically gets on the phone with people and validates that they want this. He writes an offer and they're like, yeah, I would pay that. And so then it's like, he doesn't want to do all these businesses. He just found a product in the marketplace that's possible and people that want to buy it. So all of these things are business ideas that he's validated. And this guy's a millionaire at validating business ideas. He just wants to work on the stuff he wants to work on. Like what he's actually doing right now is playing the guitar and doing concerts. And that's like, his music is like an energy. I don't even know what it is, but it's like, he's doing whatever the fuck he wants. And so what he's doing is he's dumping all these ideas onto this website. And then it's like, you can work with him to go build this out as a business. It's like, I've already discovered that this is something that will make money. If you want to learn how to build a business, like start with an idea that's already validated. And then he shows you like how he put together an offer, how he got them to say they would pay for it. It's like, I think my next project is going to be like watching through all these videos. After I do this launch, I'm like, how is he doing this? I should copy what he's doing because people will get and say, yeah, I want that. But all of these things are things that potentially people could do and make money at. And he's already done the work of saying, like, here's a business, I'm handing it to you. He did this with me and a group of people. He found something about helping real estate agents follow up with people. So he just found an off the shelf thing that was like, I don't know, $8 a month or something. It's like Textedly, where you can set up automated text reminders for stuff. And so he got on the phone with a real estate agent. It's like, what's a customer worth to you? It's like, well, however many $1,000 commission. He's like, okay, so if you spent this amount of money and you got a customer from it, that's like something like a 17,000% revenue increase, right? So he set up, he's like, well, your real estate customers, usually the buying cycle is about 8 years. So if you can follow up with a customer after they do business with you for 8 years and just be top of mind, remind them, like, maintain a relationship with them for that long, you should get customers out of it. And it's like, well, if you have this simple follow-up system that takes a few minutes to set up, and then it's an asset, it's running, it's working for your business. Like, he sat down and wrote that out in a document, and then had that real estate agent read it to him and give him feedback on it. It's like, well, it's like, that sounds cool, but I'd rather have it do this. He literally gave him the feedback that he wanted. He was like, oh, well, if it did this, and if it did this, and if it did this, like, this is a no-brainer. Like, I would absolutely pay to have this added to my business. And so like, he doesn't care how it's delivered, and like what Dane was spending to actually fulfill it was like peanuts, but it was valuable to that guy. And he's like, I would pay blah 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 this much for it. And so he had a group of people. He showed that video in a private Facebook group. He launched a Facebook group, didn't put a cover banner, just called it Follow Up Gold, just put like a couple dozen of us in the group, and showed us the idea and said, hey, what do you guys think? Anybody want to try it? And it's like, he got one guy to try it for like a chiropractor, and the kid, like, he said, oh, our phones have been ringing off the hook. Everyone was like, what? It takes 1 day to set up a real business? And this is like, it got a bunch of people excited, but then like almost none of them took any action and did anything with it. Costs Dane nothing to just share the idea. And he found one person who's like, well, that guy's maybe willing to take action. I'm going to watch this guy. And like the rest of the people, it's like, if they do something, if they don't do something, doesn't matter. But he's created this little pocket of like, here's some people that I've collected that I have in a little group. And if any of them pop back and say, hey, I got results, or hey, did you guys know that this thing is working, or whatever, it's like, I guess on some level I've been kind of subconsciously thinking about this, and maybe that's what this is, like the 5-minute Facebook groups idea. I think in practice, or in reality, it's like, it's even simpler than that. If you can find a group of people who are talking about something, just create a group and just leave it alone. If the idea is good, if the right ingredients for community are there, it'll happen by its own, and you don't even need to like poke it. And I was thinking, like, man, maybe the business is just literally, as you get good at market research and problems, like, just create Facebook group after Facebook group after Facebook group with the promise in the name. And as people are searching, if they come into the group and be like, I want to be here for this thing, and somebody just starts making that group organically grow, it's like, partner with them, be like, hey, I see you're doing this thing. Would you like to co-own this thing with me? It's like, go do what you're going to do with it, and then just let it happen. So instead of like trying to figure out what does the market want that I can do, it's like, what if you just create 1 million, and it's like, a few of them are just going to like blow up on their own automatically. And I mean, that doesn't sound super sexy to people in terms of like, just create Facebook group after Facebook group after Facebook group. But I mean, if you get people to pay you to try to build a Facebook group and also nurture it and stuff, like you can watch what people are doing and get paid to do that. You're getting real-time feedback of what might work in the process. And then what we could do is literally like virtually nothing, is just start a whole bunch and see what happens. See if we can find the things that people are interested in enough to get it to grow. Because I was looking, there are Facebook groups, like a friend of mine had a floral business. I was like, I bet, her customers brides, like people who are having weddings. So I was looking at Facebook groups like wedding tips or wedding flowers or wedding different things. Like there are groups with like 100,000 people in it, like who are looking for help, planning a wedding. I'm like, that I have no interest in that. But like if you find the market niche where it just kind of blows up. It's a public group. It's like people just want the help for those sorts of things. And if you find the thing where people are looking for help and you're just constantly like cranking out group after group after group, you might land on one of those ideas that was like that late. I wish I could remember that story. I need to do a little digging. I think it was on a podcast, but if I could find that story where she's like, yeah, I had this idea for a group, I started it, and then the next, like somebody tweeted something, and I woke up the next day to like thousands of members requests, and I needed to like get a team of people to help me like approve people in and that sort of thing. Was like, it was a nightmare, but it was like at the same time, it was like you literally are handed the potential of a multi-million-dollar business, because you've got hundreds or thousands of people who are just instantly your audience because you created the group. And that's the thing. It's sort of like what we have is like a net building company. And it's like, if you, instead of being like, who needs nets? Let me sell my nets for like super expensive things. Like if what you're really good at is like, what could I catch in these nets that's really valuable? And like, I know how to build nets, so I'm just gonna like, just keep throwing them out. And like, I'm just throwing away nets and never going back to get them. But it's like, if I get a snag right away, it's like, holy shit, I found a whole treasure chest. It's like, that's potentially what we could do. And it's like, we don't even need to spend a bunch of effort on it. It's like, if you can show a VA or like people who are paying you how to do the market research and start groups like right away, it's like you could stumble across the thing that's like, how has nobody seen this before? Anyway. So I guess I need to get to the thing that I was intending to work on.
By the way, I was curious, as you were talking, I'm like, is there a limit to how many groups you can create? There isn't. However, there's a limit to how many Facebook groups you can be a member of, and that is 300.
$300 groups. Interesting. Okay.
Nope. You can join up to 6,000 groups, so maybe they changed it.
Oh, that's like 2016. Yeah. Facebook. Yeah, you can join up to 6,000 groups. Once you reach this limit, you'll need to leave some groups before you can join new ones. I mean, I feel like once you get to like 100 or 200, it's like at that point, it's like that's a real business. Like you probably have spreadsheets that you're tracking people that are taking on bits of like following up and looking in the groups and stuff. So it's like, I feel like you probably will be making money before you hit the max of what's possible. But I think that's the thing, is like just keep throwing out a net. If all we did was like It's like, okay, what are best sellers? What are the Two Comma Club awards? Oh snap, that could be it. It's like if we just took a look at one funnel every day, created a Facebook group based on the outcome or the promise of what that business does, and see if we get people randomly searching for that thing. It's like, and then don't do anything else besides start a group. It's like you don't put an offer in it, you don't put a video in it, you don't put a cover photo on it. It's just like, here's the outcome, here's the promise. And if people start joining right away, it's like, oh, people are searching for that and they want that. If nothing happens, and it's just dead after, a couple weeks, it's just like never go back. And then, I mean, if you have a spreadsheet, it's like, well, here's all the groups I've ever created. It's if you have a VA, it's like, all right, every month or two, it's like you could do the rotations and work your way through all the groups, just like check and see if there's anything happening. If there's nothing happening, it's like we just focus on where the movement is. It's like, but do the bare minimum possible. And I think probably by doing that in tandem with doing it with people who are actively building groups, you can see the kind of like, where is that like minimum level amount of work where you hit the tipping point of like, you have to have a great name that people are searching for, and you have to, like, maybe you need a description, or maybe you need a cover photo, or maybe you need like all of those things, and like a really personable video that tells people, here's why you need to actively participate right now. Go invite, like, I don't know what the thing is. Nobody knows what that is, but it's like, I don't know if it's better to have a group as a response to people who are already raising their hand and you just create a group and let it start automatically, or if you just start a group and people find it organically and join and do the thing themselves, who knows. But I think that's what I'm like, what I want to crack is, there's a billion people on Facebook. There's market here. We don't have to go anywhere else or learn anything else or do anything else other than just like keep pulling this thread until we crack, like, what is the thing that we want to do that is super lazy, that's super fun, and is repeatable enough that it's like, oh, we could make this make money for us. And then at some point, if we want to teach it, great. But it's like, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm launching right now is like, could I possibly get paid to explain the idea that I'm testing right now myself? And I think I think I know enough about creating emotion and organizing ideas to get people to pay me something to be part of this process. I mean, Brian did something similar, which I'm kind of trying to copy. He launched the Icon Mastermind at like $100 a quarter for like the first handful of people, and then it was like $300 a quarter, and then it was $500 a quarter, and now it's like $1,700 a quarter. And it's like, it's great reoccurring revenue, and it's like, it's infrequent enough that you kind of forget that you're subscribed to it. So it's like, if you're just in the community and doing the experience and it's low pressure, like, you don't, it's like, he just kind of validated that people were buying in, and he would tell people, it's like, after this many slots are filled, it's going to go up. So it's like, there's a natural promo cycle built into the scaling where it's like, if you want in, here's, people are excited, people are starting to connect to people, they're starting to sell their offers, they're starting to get results. This is going to be an amazing deal if you get in now, because the price is going to go up. And he just constantly was like promoting and cycling, and he's going into that launch mode again of like re-promoting the same program that he's had people in. So I'm really interested to see what he does. But it's like, you take the thing that's kind of working and you just keep promoting it, keep finding new ways to talk about it where you get paid for something you've already built. And I think we have the bones of that here, and that's why I'm really excited about this week. All right, I need to start putting together my next post. So testimonials. So I'm just literally going to go down the list of
So what do you need from me?
Let's see.
Like nothing, you're useless.
Well, I will just share what I have so far. Facebook, Facebook, Facebook. Let's go to Facebook. 7 minutes ago. Interesting. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You should. Do you know Masara or Mr. Move It?
Yep.
What's he? I mean, are you guys friends or like do you connect much? Like, are you get? Have you guys?
Anymore, no. In the beginning, yes. We were like, I don't know, we almost started something together, and then it just like, the different people involved kind of like went their separate ways, and he just, went on doing it. Why?
Oh, he just was sharing like he said last week I did a 24-hour nonstop ride on my road bike and it took me 27 hours and 30 minutes. It's like that sounds like something you would do.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, I don't know, like personality and stuff, like there may not be enough to really just keep investing there, but I just thought it was interesting that you guys have a lot of similarity in terms of like, I'm just gonna do something like absolutely ridiculously insane because why not?
Yeah, that pretty much describes me. It's like but yeah, that's the thing. It's like he was a cool guy. It's just I don't know, we're not similar enough that there
Yeah.
was anything there beyond the basic, like, oh, we're both, like coaches or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And as we're working, I mean, as you're working, I'm just playing on the back end with like the funnel
Uh-huh.
and like adding like links and connecting things together. And it's like it's a cool thing when you're like, wait, the order form, like, oh, when I click like on the order bump, it adds it to the total. It's like, oh, it's cool. I can actually see prices. And it's like technically, I don't know if you could buy because I haven't tested anything, but in theory, we could send someone to the link and they could purchase it right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really cool to be able to see like click is like, oop, plus 27, minus 27. Yay. Yeah, it's just like the goal is I'm trying to set up as much as I can on the back end so that once we're ready, we just kind of come in, insert the video, insert the copy, tweak a few things, and we're done.
Yeah.
especially now that we're planning on not using the sales page, like everything else is very, very simple.
Yeah.
Mm.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it.
What was that?
Hello, do you able to give traffic to my website? Who is this? Is this somebody in Brian's group? How did this person find me? Let's check. Members. Not there. Ansar Akala. Who is this? Huh, apparently, apparently somebody reached out to me. That's a lead. Hello, do you able to give traffic to my website? I mean, I feel like they're not a perfect client because I'm like, the language barrier might be a little something,
Yeah.
but that's really encouraging. It's like I'm not even really trying to aggressively get new people outside of my network, but it's like we got inbound leads. It's like we're on the right track, I guess.
This is probably just the universe being like, yep, keep going.
Yep, that's what it feels like. I think right now the goal is ignore anybody that sounds like they're ESL individual and just focus on people who have businesses. They have some amount of clarity of who they can help. They've helped people. Like those are the people that I think will benefit the most and get the best results from what I'm offering. It's like those are who I want to help, because like either they'll see the value of what I do and be willing to pay for it, or they already have money to pay for it. Brianna Agstad. One decision away from becoming the woman you've only dreamt of becoming. Well, I guess I want to make that decision.
Perfect.
No BS health coaching. I help women learn how to live a guilt-free diet lifestyle. All right. I will confirm your friend request. This is funny. Why would somebody who specializes in coaching women? Oh, she's in Brian's group. Maybe she's silently watching my crap. All right. Maybe she's somebody who has some program that just needs a little tweaking of her messaging. All right. So interest. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to find the testimonials from Kevin. David said
Yeah,
he's writing that.
by the way, once you have testimonials and ideally pictures of the people who gave testimonials, you can send over and I'll just add them to the sales page.
Oh, great idea. Haley, Justin, Felix. Wait, Justin. What's that? Justin. Oh, Justin Yip. Okay. Okay. Dukes Tay, Haley North, Karen, whatever her last name is, Cadence. What's her name? Cadence something something.
Oh, wow. So funny, like a while back I applied to like some like one house sitting gig.
Mhm.
I didn't hear back, and the person just responded saying, "Hi, my house sitter lost a cat, so I'm looking again." Like that's basically your entire job when you're a house sitter, take care of the animal, and they lost a cat.
Wow.
Uh, I mean, I shouldn't laugh, it sucks, but
How do you lose a cat?
I don't know.
Wow. That's funny. All right. So I think this needs to be in number 4. So that'll be later. This needs to be clients. Okay, so let's do this right. Let's just build this thing off of market feedback instead of what I want to do. Last night, Joe said, okay, let's dump that in here. Let's post, paste. Whoa. All righty then. All righty then.
Is this your process?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm really glad we're streaming this. This is how I work. I like it's like it's weird. Like I have to do I have to just like fully be like embody being in output mode, including like making stupid noises or like repeating things. Like I don't know. I don't know why that is. Something about ADD just makes you like you have to like be in kind of like full integration with like your process and your body. Otherwise, it's just like too hard.
Full integration or fun integration?
Fun integration. Out into out integration.
Outegration?
Why is there? That's very weird. I don't know what that is. That's strange. Well, no. Spending way too much time on this snipping this. Shimama, I don't know if you're listening to the program.
Well, in the meantime, I guess I'll just watch porn. Why are there two versions of the Two Comma Club Award winners PDF?
So one is a Google Doc. The other one was just the Excel spreadsheet that you uploaded.
Got it.
So the point is that I can edit the Google Doc,
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
like add people that I find. But man, I think that resource is gonna be very profitable. I think
So I'm assuming this one is the one where you added some links, so I can delete the other one, so only have one version.
sure, yeah.
All right, so delete the one with all the links. Because I'm like, I have nothing to do while I'm waiting, so why not just do some work?
Why not?
I'm also going to put the things in the right column.
this is a good place to start.
Do you know if there's a way to rename a column? So instead of having it be like the column, it's like you can input an actual name.
What?
Do you know if you can change the name of the column? It's like in the example, like instead of column D, can I switch it and read like, let's say brand name? Because I've put it at the top like in a row, but it's like every time I scroll down, it's like I can't see which column is which.
I don't know. I know there's ways to like split up documents so you can see multiple parts of the spreadsheet, but I don't know how to do it.
Okay, I'll do some
Worth it.
research and try to figure it out.
Worth at Google.
Well, I'm gonna do the work. I was just asking in case you knew. So you work and I'll waste my time finding out.
Mhm.
All right, that was easy.
This is perfect feedback. All right. All righty. She's exactly what I'm looking for, I think. Okay, let's do this. Can I save this? No. Aha, prospects. Excuse me. Dirt. goodness.
What?
Oh, this is gonna be so easy. I mean,
That's it.
it's still gonna take work, but it's like I don't have to guess. I've got a gigantic swipe file of like copy from people who are selling hundreds of thousands of books. And it's like a book is like the most unsexy, unattention grabbing thing. It's like you have to get your message clear in the title or like a jacket cover. It's like within a few sentences. And the people who are selling over and over and over and over again, it's like they're doing something right. They know their market, they know their target, especially the best-selling authors that have hit that list multiple times. And I'm like, if all I do is just, it's like after I launch this thing, it's like I just craft a post every day based off of one of those, proven. It's like here's the, so like I'm looking at this book is Stand Out 2.0. It's like stand out. That's what everybody wants, right? It's like that's a way to say what people want. It's like get noticed, grow your business, get it, it's like, so assess your strengths, find your edge, and win at work. And then the jacket cover is like, everybody knows you should build on your strengths. Strengths-based approach is now conventional wisdom. And this will enable you to identify your strengths and act on it. So the whole idea of this standout is like, what are you already good at? And just use that, leverage it. And that's what I need to like be messaging in this thing is you're already a genius. Like we thought we were struggling. We thought our business was like not great. And it's like, we forgot who we were. As soon as we said, we're a millionaire, what would a millionaire do? We're just like, holy shit, here's all of these things that prove that we are somebody who can help people that has already gotten results. And it's like, let's leverage that. That's what I want to show people that they can do. It's like, stop struggling and just decide, oh, how can I just make this easy right away?
Dude, I just had a stupidly brilliant idea.
Mm.
Because you just mentioned book funnels are really, really effective.
Mm-hmm.
But writing a book takes a lot of time and energy.
Uh-huh.
However, you need to create content every day to get out there and show value. So what if you decided, all right, let's plan out a book and break it down into sections that each day you just write one of those sections, publish it as a post, but you're also creating the content for your book. So at the end, once you're done, you have all the content, you just have to go in, do a little editing, and you're done. Your book is written.
Oh dang, that's really smart. It's especially if you did like, okay, here's the theme, and you like break it up so every day of a week it's like here's the chapter that I'm doing, and then like that will get you market feedback of like, oh, this is the part that people really resonate with, so like let's focus there and like build the chapter around that piece that people really resonated with. So like chapter title gets turned in what people are in your market are really responding to. It's like, this is very smart.
And the thing is, like, depending on what the book is about, but let's say the book is about how to build an audience and generate content for your audience. Well, it's like you're teaching the exact strategy that you're using for the book. So it's like you can structure the book of like chapter 1 is 1 week, broken down into 7 sections that I published every day. But it's like you can teach what you're doing as you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like whatever you want. I'm just thinking like you're going to create a lot of content. So why not approach it from a perspective of how do we reuse this content in the future? It's like if you get to the end of this and it's like you launched your course, you launched your product, you launched your group, and at the same time, at the end, you have a book. then we can go ahead and create a like book funnel. Like that has been proven, like free plus shipping model has been proven to work super well.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if the book promotes what the course is. So it's like, hey, here's your free book. It's like, do you want to upgrade to a $1,000 course teaching you step by step exactly how to apply the principles that I teach you in this book?
Mm-hmm. I just had an insight to our Foo Fun Fund principle that I think is interesting. I don't know whether it's something we need to talk about or if it's like, but the formula is like FU, FUN, FUND. It's like there's something that comes before the FU. It's just F. It's like when you fail, first step is fail. And that shows you what you need to fire. And then the stuff that's working is like, well, like if it's kind of fun and you're willing to do it, keep doing it. And then the stuff that's working, it's like, well, I'm bored with this. Now you need to hand it off. You need to fund it. But it's like the first step is fail. It's like, it's not figure out what the right thing is. It's go do something. And then if it didn't work, then, move on. Don't keep trying stuff that's not working. And if what you're doing is like continuing to think about, it's like if you can lump everything that they're doing into one category of like that has failed, you need to try something new. It's like take a look at, so you've already done step one, you're already there, you're already successful. So now what you need to do is fire what's not working. It's like if what you're doing is not working, we're giving you permission to let it go.
That makes sense.
So I don't know why that came up, but it's just like, it was funny. I'm visualizing this like you're just slowly building out, and it's like it mirrors the way that you build your business. It's like you start with little teeny tiny something, and it's like, well, that didn't work, and it's like you add another brick. It's like maybe this will work. It's like, well, it's better than what I had. And then you add another brick, and it's like, okay, maybe we're getting somewhere. And now it's like, okay, I got somebody. How do I repeat this process? And you just keep stacking and stacking things. But you also need the cycle of like, all right, so I'm collecting all of this stuff and I'm doing all these things, but like, how do I take away the stuff that I really don't need? So it's like this bigger and bigger brick load that you're carrying. It's like, if this is your business, like that you're hauling around with you, it's like, how can you streamline? Just keep like the 3 bricks that are working. Just keep the 3 that produce the most results.
I'm just imagining, like, as you're explaining, because now there's 4. It's like it can't be the Foo Fun Fun principle. It's the Foo Fun Fun principle. But it's like people would be like, "Are you stuttering?" the fun principle.
fun. That's, oh my goodness. Anyway,
Dude,
right.
That's one of our teaching frameworks.
What, stutter?
Like 1 is F, step 2 is FU, step 3 is FUN, step 4 is FUND. It's like that is a framework.
Yeah. So, and I like that. It's like it helps people see you're right here. It's like if you feel like it's not working, you're in this stage. You need to move to let's fire something. So what are you going to let go of and create some bandwidth? It's like our system allows you to drop almost everything, but like 5 minutes a day. And so it's like if you want to fire some things that aren't working that you're tired of, do it. Now you've got some stuff that's starting to like come together. It's like start making it fun. Find a way that this is something you can show up and do. And for us, fun is like being lazy. It's like how can we do just a few things that produce a massive amount of results? So it's like for us, it's like if we could do 5 minutes of work and have that pay off, maybe even get clients out of it. That's how we work. So if you want to have more fun with the things that you're doing, doing as little as possible is one of the ways that we make it fun. And that's how our course works.
I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on the book idea because I'm like, that is such a genius idea because you're showing people, hey, this is how you can create a crap ton of content for social media,
Mhm.
and at the same time you're writing a book. So you're
Yeah.
tricking yourself into writing a book.
Yeah. But it's like it's researched material. It's like, what are the things that are already working that are normal to success? And then you absorb that, redigest it, say it in your words, you add to it. I mean, it's the same principle of like you're adding just a few bits of code to the DNA that you've been handed. It's like you get all the benefit of everything that's come before you. It's like, and then whatever you evolve in your life, it's like whatever thing that you do that's unique, it's like that part of your genetics gets passed on to your progeny. It's like you're essentially genetically evolving business. And if you have something valuable, which almost everybody does if they know who they are instead of they're trying to copy everybody else. It's like just take what's actually working and then you add your thing to it. And it makes it more valuable. I like this. I think this is something that like if we can find a way, and this might be the next logical step for people who are asking for our help, or it might be a completely separate market, but I like for people who want to have like proven market research or like get their stuff working, like create content that's more effective. This is how to do it. It's like go look at what's working with the people that are already in your industry and niche and start modeling the topics and things that they're talking about that are getting the audience's attention. And then you pay attention to what people in your market are responding to. But if you taught that and you had an accountability of like people are wanting to see the process and hear what you're doing, and even if you're doing that for free just as like content to get attention, it allows you to define yourself as an expert, and then that all can get turned into a book.
Yeah, I feel especially if you use the strategy that Russell Brunson suggests, is like everything you teach is broken down into frameworks.
Yeah.
Each section of those frameworks, there's another framework and another one and another one. It's like if you just break that down enough, you can plan out your entire book in small enough segments that they can be posts. And
Yeah.
it's like just teaching it at the same time, like you're getting very clear on exactly what it is you teach, how you teach it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a combination of so many things. It's like you have content, you're clarifying your message, and at the same time, you're writing a book. So at the end, you can just teach that. Like you
Mm-hmm.
can just because that would be like an extra selling point. Like people would pay just to get taught how to write a book, and you're like, I'm teaching you how to trick yourself into writing a book while building an audience, getting clients, and making money.
Mm-hmm.
It's an extra bonus of like, hey, I'm teaching you all this, plus you're gonna write a book without realizing that you're writing it.
Mm-hmm. I
And
wonder
I don't
whether
know,
that would be, yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if we need to prove it, but like to test this to see how it works. But it's like if we're able to do that, that could be like, this is how you create content. You approach it from the perspective of I'm writing a book. What are the sections? How do I break each section down? And if you
Yeah.
teach, it's like you have content for a year. So you never have to worry about what am I going to write next. And then at the end of the year, you have all that information that you just have to kind of readjust a bit.
Yeah.
You have like a book written that you can use
Yeah.
in your.
So you could charge for this almost. It's like get paid to write your first like industry leading book. And the idea is like, if you're consistently putting out the content that your audience wants to hear, you're going to get clients from it. And that demonstrates your authority on being able to talk about this subject. So it's like, I get paid to talk about XYZ. So it's like, let's write the book that's going to get you the clients that you can then publish the book and say, I'm an expert authority in this area because that's what people pay me to do. And you're basing it off of stuff that successful people have already kind of sifted and sorted the information for you. And that, like, you're starting at a starting place where you're going to have insights and realizations based on your work and your market that you can add to the conversation, as opposed to having to learn it all from scratch.
Yeah, it's kind of like the concept of, oh, become an expert and get paid. It's like get paid to become an expert.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, instead of writing the book to get like convince people that you're an expert and then using that to make money, it's like you're using that content to become an expert, build authority, get feedback, get review, make money. And at the end, you have that social proof of I'm an expert and here's all the like feedback to prove it.
Uh-huh.
And it's like you build the business and then at the end you have the, I don't know, the book or like the proof of like you're an expert, and then you can use that to like explode your business.
Yeah. Okay. So this sounds pretty darn good. Like, I feel like I'm talking myself into this program. Now I just need to talk about it in front of other people and see if anybody else. I mean, I think this should be part of the pitch. Is like, if you do this process, you qualify yourself to work with me. One of the things that we can do is we're going to help you become an industry leading authority while writing the book. I mean, I don't even know how you would say it, the right order to say it, but it's like, what if you could write a book that cements your authority in the industry? Even if you're not an authority right now, you can demonstrate that by creating the content that gets you the clients, and that becomes the book. Like, I don't know.
I'm wondering.
I feel like it's too many steps for most people to think about, but there's probably a simple way to say it where it's like super clear. It's like, here's the plan for helping you write like a best-selling book. The best part about it is like, you don't have to write it from scratch with no idea what to do. It's like, we'll show you exactly what to write and how to write it in a way that, as you're putting it out there a little bit at a time, you can build an audience and get clients from it before you've even finished the book.
I think I'm just wondering, like, because part of me is like, how can we integrate this into 5-minute Facebook groups? But it's just like, it's a different concept. It doesn't fit. It's just like a different version of it.
Yeah.
Instead of like the pitch being, you get to do this and it's only 5 minutes per day. It's like, you get to do this. And at the end of it, you end up with a book that can then like catapult your business into the sphere. So it's like, you're building an audience, you're building a group, you're getting clients and you're making money, but you're setting yourself up so that at the end of the journey, you have a book that brands you as an expert, and you can then like 10x your business.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not, the promise isn't don't like barely do any work. The promise is it feels like you're barely doing any work and you're getting a ton of results at the end.
Yeah. Well, and I wouldn't be surprised that like there's a bunch of entrepreneurs that's like, okay, if I have a Facebook group and a business that's set up, it's like, okay, I only have to like press this button or put this post up. It's like, it only takes me 5 minutes today. Because what I really want to do is just read more books about business. Or like, so well, what if instead of just reading it and thinking you have to learn, it's like, what if your job was you read a book, so that becomes the research for, so what did you take away from that? And it's like, you read a chapter on this thing, well, that's the topic that your market wants to respond to. So write your summary from a story that you know of that idea. So you're learning it by telling it. You're actually like turning it into something that you own. And it's like that becomes the content for your group. It's like now you have stuff that you can feed your group that you wanted to do anyway. Like you wanted to do it, and then it's like that is even more valuable, because if you do enough of those things, then you've got a collection that you publish that as a book. I think there's a shorter, sexier way to say it, but
Yeah, like this
that's what I want to do.
this feels like a different strategy. It's more like you're doing research, creating content, and at the end you get to have a product out of it.
Mhm.
But my thing was more like break down what you teach, what you do into like, postable content.
Mhm.
So then at the end, you already have all the content. You just have to slightly rearrange it and edit it.
Yeah.
It's like their thing they were teaching. Whereas what you're sharing is a great way to get like to do market research and create content. And at the end, you're like, hey, you can package that into a book and sell it. But it's like that's not really to brand them as an expert. It's not going to show the world like this is my strategy. I'm the best at this. Unless your strategy is, how to do research. Anyway, we may be getting off topic, but interesting strategy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I feel like you would enjoy having written a book. Like you would enjoy being an author. You would enjoy kind of like having that like as a business card for your business. But I can sense you don't really want to do the work of writing a book. So it's like, what if
Yeah.
we test this out of like, this is your way to write the book. And
Yeah.
at the end you have the book, you become the expert. And if this works, then like, whenever you're done, like in a year, let's say like that can be the next course that we create, the next funnel that we
I
build.
like the idea of like trick yourself into writing a best-selling book.
Yeah, it's like it's not just that, but it's like trick yourself into it and get paid for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Get paid to trick yourself into writing a best-selling book that creates like that cements you as an industry authority. It's like it's just so stupid sounding that it's like it appeals to me.
But the thing is, like, it's just very logical because most people, it's like, oh, I'm gonna, put all this time and effort into creating content to build an audience, to get client, to build a business, and then I'm gonna go ahead and write the book. But it's like, by that point, there's a period of like 3, 6 months, however long it takes you to write the book, where it's like you're doing all that work and not seeing the results. It's like if you can trick yourself into building the business, and by the time it's built, you have that asset to like expand your business and your reach and your impact and your income.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you want to be doing. So it's like, what if this was our business strategy? It's like every step of the way, as we're building the current step, we're also building the next one without having to do any other like work.
Yeah. Okay, this is what I want to do. I would like to write a book that is like a highly constructed marketing sales letter that you don't realize is a marketing sales letter. Because I've read a lot of Amazon reviews where people get upset. They're like, I read this book and it was really poor quality and it was obviously just an ad for their website. They keep telling you like, go check out my program, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right, how can you write a book where you feel like it's so much value and you are the one that gets the ideas like, I really need to like, I wish I could work with this guy. It's like, why not just try like, I know what his website is, or I know like where his group is or his email or whatever. It's like, I should just reach out. Like, what if I could work with this person and they feel like they had the idea. They feel like when you respond to them, they're like, oh my gosh, I actually got in touch with this person. And but it like it's a totally different experience where they feel like it's their idea instead of you telling them what to do. It's like there are some people who need you to tell them what to do, but I think it would be an interesting magic trick to like, it's like if you did all of the things that you would do up to the call to action and just like kind of took those away and it's like it's their idea. So it's like the people who feel like they're just a little bit smarter or they like put things together. I don't know. Maybe that's not.
No, it's an interesting concept. And I feel like
I
it
feel like that would be an
difficult.
interesting thing to split test. I wonder if people split test
My mind was like
full
going
books.
direction. And I was thinking like, once you have the book, then you need an upsell. So it's like the upsell could be like a course version of the book where it's like the book just teaches the principles,
Mm-hmm.
strategy. And then the course teaches the tactics of like step 1, step 2, step 3.
Right. That's yeah.
So it's like the natural evolution. It's like, hey, this book is going to teach you like the overview. This is how it works. This is the strategy. This is the system. This is like step 1 and 2 and 3. It's like are the big things, but it's like at the end of the day, that's all pointless if you don't use that information.
Yeah.
It's like you can go yourself and use that information and apply it, but most people don't. Which is why you create a course on the back end. It's like, hey, I created a course that's a companion to this book that's going to allow you to implement everything that you're learning as you're learning.
I wonder if could that be a niche? What I just had the idea for is like, what if the product wasn't even a course? What if it was like, this book has a reading community where you can find buddies and like talk about the book as you're reading. So it's like if you're the person who buys books, you are excited to read, and then it sits on your bookshelf for like 4 weeks, and then you're like, oh yeah, I really wanted to read that, and now I don't feel like reading it. Now I feel bad about myself. It's like we have a like join our group right now and like find some other people who are excited to start reading it this week. So it's like help authors launch a book reading community for their book so that it's like the people who buy it are much more likely to read it because they're talking to other people who want to read the book too. And so
like a built-in book club.
Yeah, it's a built-in book club. It's like it takes you half an hour to add this as a value add to your book. So it's like join our free community, like right on the inside of the book or something. It's like you can do a whole relaunch campaign. It's like our second edition or whatever. It's like the exact same thing with just like one more page added if you want to create zero content to add to it. Or if you want to like sit down with me, like have a half-hour conversation, we transcribe that, put that in a little preface thing, or it's like appendix. It's like you can relaunch your book, get new sales, get new interest from your audience, warm your group back up, and then create a thing where it's like everybody who buys your book from now on, your whatever the conversion rate is like if we did this with 100 book authors, like if you can raise the completion rate of having read the book because people are talking to other people who are excited about the book, and then it's like then you get insight on what people are actually interested in and excited about, and I don't know.
I mean, this could be a bump sale of like, I don't know what the price would be. It could be like as low as $7 or as high as 97. It's like
Yeah.
join our book club and ensure that you read it along with other people, discuss it, help each other
Uh-huh.
out, support each other, whatever you need. And it's like that seems like a valuable upsell if you present it in the right way.
Yeah. Well, and even if you create it as like a, I don't know how you do it, but it's like in the right context, you can add it as an upsell to create the value. But it's like if you offer it as like this is a such and such value, it's like, and if you purchase this book under this circumstance during this promo or whatever, it's like you get access to this valuable thing for free as an extra bonus. I don't know if that makes it less likely that people will take action or more likely, or maybe it just makes the book like buying the book more exciting. But if you pay to join the community, feels like that would make you want to like go do the step to join and whatever.
Yeah,
And then you
feels like
have a mechanism where you can constantly be telling them, read the book, read the book, read the book, read the book. Who's read the book? You know?
yeah, plus it feels like if you're using the free plus shipping model, it's like that's how you make the money with bump sales and upsells and stuff. So you could have
Yeah.
like free book and then the like book club as a bump sale. And then on the back end, you have the upsell of like, hey, this is the course version of the book that's going to walk you step by step how to do everything.
Yeah.
So it's like it could be like free plus shipping, then like $27 like bump sale to join the like book club, and then like
Yeah.
$4.97 for the companion course.
Yeah. I think I think this is what I need to do for my business is create a community for the book, create a real funnel for the book where it's like no other tabs, no other, the only thing you see is like, here's every possible selling point for this book. It's like, do you want this book to help you know how to grow your church? And then you buy the book. It's like, hey, you want to buy 50 books right now and you can start distributing them to the leaders in your church. And then the upsell is like, hey, would you like the $27 course or $200 course that will show you how to get your members to buy the books from you? Like we'll do all the marketing for you. It's like just use these email templates and push that, hold an event at your church where you talk about this idea and you get them to reinvest in it. So it's like the purchases cost you nothing. And then it's like, here's the free community you can offer. Here's a bunch of emails. It's like, get your people in this community. They will start using it. They will start reading it. They will help each other start doing it. You give them everything that it takes to make it successful at their church. And if you can help them feel like, oh, I could maybe not have to pay the cost of this. I could like, I don't have to do the work of getting the idea launched at my church. Like I don't even have to read the book myself. I have like there's a book club, they're gonna read it. It's like, or there's an audiobook or whatever. It's like I feel like I have the makings of the business and I'm just like sitting on it.
Yep, pretty much.
So once again, we're idiots. I'm an idiot. And that's what I need to do is like, okay, after I'm done with this, I mean, that's what I should do. I should just do my own business as the case study for the stuff I'm telling people to do. It's like, figure out your business's shit. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing. It's like, I've sat on this thing. I've got, however many, like 120 leads who have paid us money, who want the help. I just need to call somebody every day until I get somebody who's like, thank you so much. I've been waiting for somebody to help me launch this thing because it's such a great idea, but I had no idea where to start. I'm like, I would be happy to build you exactly what you need. And it's like, you build it once, you build it forever.
What if the strategy was instead of charging for the course, it's like kind of an upsell. So it's like, hey, buy a copy. It's like free plus shipping or whatever. It's like if you buy 10 copies, you get this like I don't know, PDF bonus of like, here are the 10 steps you need to do in order to share this with the group or whatever. It's like 100, like you get this other bonus. And it's like, let's say 500 is like, you get this course teaching you step by step how to implement this in your business. If you buy 1,000 or more, like we're gonna have a like, I don't know, I'm gonna have like, you can hop on a call with me and we'll have like a strategy session. Or it's like, buy 5,000, it's like, I'm gonna personally fly to your church and help you implement this into your community. So it's like, not charge it as an upsell, but just get them to buy more and throw in the bonus.
Yeah. I have an idea that would be great. This would be an awesome like either bump sell or free lead magnet or something. It's like as a follow-up email sequence. But if I give the pastor literally like a template of Roy's sermon that he used to pitch this, like to launch it at the original church. So it's like, here's the fill in the blank template for your sermon. So you insert it with your stories, but I'm giving them essentially all of the marketing material that they need to say in front of their community. That's like, here's the reason why this idea is a great idea and why we need it. Now you tell me in response, like, are we interested in doing this together as a group? And so like you give them what they need to launch the idea and get the market feedback from their people to like sell themselves on it. Because there's already a template, like a not a template, like a workshop formula in the back of like, here's how to lead your people through the thing. But it's like, you know, that feels like work. But if it's like, I'm going to give you a sermon template and it's like, I'll write your sermon for you this week. And so it's like, you give them all the stuff they need to get their people excited about the prospect of growing their church, having a more loving community, actually caring and connecting a little bit more with the people there. This is a great idea, and it's taking me away from writing this post, but I think this is the idea of the day. It's like, finish this thing, put all my energy into this, and then this needs to be the next thing. Because I'm like, there's money here. There's absolutely, I have a client list, I have phone numbers, I can call people every day until I get somebody who's like, yes, please, yesterday. Where do I send the check? And then just build out based on what people are willing to pay for first. If they pay for it, then it's validated. And it's like, I won't build anything until they tell me they need it. But I think something in this space, like I have enough knowledge, I have a big enough network, I can ask for help, I can research what's already working, and just call people. It's like, what do you need? The universe is calling. How would you like it to show up? And it's like, hi, this is Aaron. It's like, God sent me. I mean, I sent myself, but like, we're tight. But I mean, on some level, I mean, that's literally what needs to happen. It's like, it may not be overnight. It's like, this feels to me like, it's like, this is the real business. This is the real thing. It's like, you spend, a few months, maybe 6 months, a year, and you build out the right things. And it's like, but that is a real life service-based, not a coaching, not this is a thing that actually creates and provides value for people. And you build out all of the little proven structures that all businesses have of, here's what the offer is. Let me help you take action by like continuing to put it in front of you with follow-up and ads and like personal touches and that sort of thing. It's like, this is the business. This could be $1 million business. And I need to figure out the right way to like just promo cycle after promo cycle, after getting market feedback. It's like, oh, that's an idea. Let me go promo that thing. And then every time I get money, go find somebody to delegate a piece of the process to create, go make this asset or do this work for me that will generate more money. And then it's like, now I can pay myself and that asset will keep building. And it's like, all right, now that'll be seed money for the next thing that we build. So Okay. Yeah, I feel really good. I feel like our floaching sessions are like super powerful. And it's like, man, we already have everything that we need. We just need to be doing the right things in the right order. And it's like, and it doesn't, we don't have to even invest any money in what we're doing. It's like we've got what we need. We just have to be ruthless and relentless about don't do crap you're not supposed to do. It's like, where's your north? Like, what is your adventures um course that you're setting? And oh, this is the funniest story. Eden was singing this church song. It's like, give me that old time religion, give me that old time. It's like, I don't know if you've heard it, but it's like it's an old church song. But she was singing, uh she had never heard the word religion. So she was singing, give me that old time adventure, give me that old time adventure. I don't know, like that was the closest thing in her mind that she could find that sounded like the religion adventure kind of like has a similar sound to her. So that was what she thought was being said. So that was what she was singing. But I was like, you know, there's no difference. It's like on some level, it's like what religion teaches you. It's like not the details of do this and blah blah that. It's like the details don't matter, but it's like the principle of like do the right things and take more risk and expand yourself is the whole freaking point of life. And I think that's the journey that we're on. Is like, what is the adventure that life is putting in front of me that I'm creating with the choices that I make? And it was just funny to me that I was like, I had never thought about that religion is like the storybook that tells you an adventure is possible. But it's like it's the original sales letter for transformation. And it's like our hero's journey is like completely canonized that idea of like go do something that's terrifying and you come back a different person. Like the old you dies and you become even like it's like in Star Wars, like, even if you kill me, I'll become more powerful than you could ever imagine. It's like that's the story of life. You don't always physically die, but you always like some part of you, grows up and becomes something else in the process of learning something. Sometimes that learning process is accelerated enough that it's painful and it hurts and it feels terrible. And other times it's like you just do a little bit at a time and it's kind of fun. Anyway, that was kind of a random offshoot.
Isn't that all we do? Random offshoots?
Yeah. All right.
I guess we should do some work.
I guess so. All right, let me get my message that David sent me.
And by research, I mean porn. It's funny because if people watch this and they don't like realize that I'm joking, they're like, dude, this guy's watching so much porn. I'm getting hungry doing research because one of the like, well, I can't find their funnel, but their website for like one of the Two Comma Club C winners, it's
Hmm.
like they have a whole brand of like, fitness and diet and stuff. Like there's a bunch of
Hmm.
like foods and stuff on there. I'm like, that looks good. I want to eat that. I don't know if they do have a funnel anymore. Seems like they just have a website. All right, moving on.
Okay, let me see. Nine, nine. Nine, 10.
Hmm. I'm just studying one of the, well, studying, glancing at one of the funnels from
Mhm.
one of the two Comma Club Awards C winners. So he's made at least 25 million from ClickFunnels.
Ooh.
And one of his things is, well, he's pitching it as a free golden ticket, and he's going with the whole like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory like gimmick.
Uh-huh.
But it's basically just a USB loaded with a seven-figure expert in e-commerce funnels, plus never before seen eight-figure agency funnel with a chance to win a private one-on-one with him.
Huh.
There's just like free USB. All you do is pay shipping, and it's like just funnels.
Dang.
We could already build a free plus shipping funnel, even though we don't have any book or anything to sell really.
Damn.
Like we probably don't need to, like we just need to focus on the launch and everything, but it's like we don't need to wait till we have a book to do the free plus shipping strategy.
That's totally true. Yeah, and honestly, like if you did a launch where it's like, all right, you got sales rolling in, then you could pay like 5 or 6 people, be like, hey, build this spreadsheet for me. Okay, you use this spreadsheet, like go, you know, collect all the data, like squeeze the data out from this spreadsheet, and then go to somebody who like writes up case studies, like format a really beautiful, pack of resources for me. And it's like you literally just like this is what you're buying, like here's all the emotional things you need to know, that's like the outcome is what you're going to get from our thing, but it's like we're leveraging the authority and all of the great stuff from all of those other people. And that, oh dang, you could even like you could even swipe the exact copy from their business. It's like, what ads are they running, or what land page, what is the lead promise? And just have, so instead of like a bunch of social proof of like people that you've helped, it's like you can see the businesses that are like, they promised this and this and this and this and this. So it's like all the stuff that they've tested, it's like grabs attention. Just post like a few dozen of those things and be like, see the businesses that are making millions of dollars, like selling these or teaching these or different stuff. And it's like, you're just basically showing what they're going to get, like a tiny peek, but it's like you're using what they've already proven works to get attention and drive action and curiosity.
I mean, that makes sense, but what does that have to do with the free plus shipping? Or is it just a separate idea?
Well, what I was saying is like you were saying you don't even have to have a product to do a free plus shipping offer. And so what I was saying is like, well, we have this like list of names that you've been Googling, and we know we want to turn it into an asset or a resource. What if we launch that as a product? It's like, here, like we're gonna give you access to a swipe file of over $200 million businesses, so you can see exactly what's working in your niche. And you're gonna see, I don't know, I don't know what the emotional hook to sell that is, but it's like that's a super valuable resource. You're offering like over $200 million worth of value.
It's like value $200 million. But you only pay $97. That is a 0.001 like percent of the price you have to pay. uh, I mean, that's a little gimmicky, but technically.
Yeah,
uh,
I mean, all you have to do is like slot it under an umbrella where it feels good. I mean, what you said about I thought it was really interesting with the giveaway. He's already tested that like between $300 to $700 is like, if you go outside of that balloon, it's like not valuable enough for me to take action. It's too much to be like, well, I'm never gonna win that. It's like, it's like too big of a thing to really feel like you pay attention to it. And I'm like, okay, so what is the believable thing that you can use that $200 million worth of value, but then you dial it down. It's like, but really, like, if you want to conquer, it's like, this is theoretically like if you went out and build a business learning what you learned from, you could build $200 million businesses. But like, let's be real. It's like, this is a value worth, if we do like a, like a $12,000 launch, where we're giving people access to like my personal swipe file, which is like, if it's relevant, maybe I'll like look at some of those funnels and be like, oh, there's a guy in your industry who's making $1 million. Like, let's take a look at that. And then you slot it underneath something. It's like, this is actually worth, like we were paid $20,000 to share this information.
I'm just realizing we could build a business around this. Like if we're able to get the complete list of all 2 Comma Club Award winners and a link to their funnel, like we can easily sell that for like $97, like probably even more.
Yeah.
It's like every single 2 Comma Club Award winner, there's 1,500. That's like minimum of $1.5 billion worth of proven business tactics.
Yeah.
And then on the back end, it can be like $497 like course upsell. Like we're going to teach you how to go through the list and pick one that is the right fit for you, whatever type of business you want to run. And then how to go through their funnel and replicate that and build your own business by funnel hacking them. It's like that could be the entire business.
You know what's funny? It wouldn't even need to be, I mean, obviously for online marketing and for people using funnels, that list is very valuable. But I bet you could find a lot of $1 million businesses that are not doing very good marketing and help them do even more business by fixing their marketing. And then you have a client list of people who are $1 million businesses. So it's like, this is a great place to start. But as soon as we have like capacity, it's like you can roll so many things into, I don't know. I'm getting distracted with like the way far out, but it's like there's just, this is gonna be fun. I think having some people who are like actually paying attention and taking action. It's like, all right, let me put the right things in front of you. So you go do the work, but it's like this can help you really get results. And I think that's really what I want my business to be. It's like I don't really want to build anything myself other than just helping people, and then recycling the stuff that I'm helping people with. It's like I can demonstrate that I can help you, and if I just help a certain volume of people, I feel that's what I feel like. It's like if I get a dozen people where I'm actively helping them, it's like maybe one of them will go out and do something and get like, hey, I just got 3 leads from the process that we did, or like I sold my first client after a couple weeks. And it's like, if I can show that that's what I've done for people, is like, then I have a proven result. And I already have case studies where it's like, I can say my career has in a way been coaching, because like I've led teams, built those teams, showed them exactly what to do. So that is a coaching of sort. It's not like marketing coaching. It's not the same thing, but it's like I do have a background of professional experience in coaching. That was one of the things that they had me do a lot at Sandals Church, was like they called certain leaders coaches, and then I've gotten high ticket clients for clients that I've done marketing for. So it's like I just need to put that stuff into my posts and my copy.
All right. I think we should get back to work. And by we, I mean you, because I'm just kind of like playing around with stuff while I'm waiting. Like it could end up being productive,
Yeah.
but for now it's just more like, yeah, it's,
Mhm.
pastime doing the work.
Okay, so I have what I need in front of me. I've got the offer. Now I just need to get the testimonials. I need to go put those together in a post, and then I'll be done. I mean, this will still probably take a couple hours, but all right, I know what I need to do. I need to go pee. That's what's
It's actually a good idea.
All righty, maybe I'll hop off and I'll start listening to some music. I think I have what I need.
All right,
Thanks,
sounds
Dan.
good. My pleasure.
I feel really good about this. I feel like, I mean, here's what this really does for me. You were asking me like, I feel like I'm not doing anything, but I think talking with you is like, metaphorically, it's like it's me kind of cranking the engine on like an old hand crank vehicle. Like I can't really do it myself. It's sort of like, oh, I know what it is. It's the back and forth that you and I have is like a two-person saw, like trying to saw down a huge tree. It's like that's a two-person job. Like if one person tries to use that tool, it's virtually impossible. Now you could go get a handsaw and cut a tree down way slower and do that by yourself. But I don't want to do that. So it's like
Okay.
you and I are like 3, 4, 5xing my output by you just being present and allowing me to like roll the energy that I'm in. It's like it comes back from you like doubled or tripled in energy. It's like I can spin up my own motor.
Okay, I realized to go with the tree analogy, it's like, okay, we're both, working together to cut the tree down. And once it's down, it's like you grab the chainsaw and just like do the work. And I'm just standing there. It's like, okay, when you cut a branch, it's like move it out of the way. Like
Yeah.
you do the work, but it's like I'm still helping, even though it doesn't seem like I'm doing anything because you're the one
Yeah.
doing all the cutting. So it's like all the tangible results come from what you do.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's like without me moving stuff out of the way,
mhm,
like it would take way longer.
yeah. And in all honesty, it's like in some another analogy that I would use is like where I'm the most valuable for other people is like when I'm telling people what to do based on what I see. So my professional careers in directing, like I've gotten paid more than once, like $10,000 to basically sit in front of a TV and press buttons. It's like, what a stupid skill set. I mean, it's like I'm going like this and I'm telling people, okay, I'm going to cut to your camera. You know, that's what I'm doing. It's like I'm picking from the options of stuff that people are already doing the work for me. Like I didn't build the set, I didn't do the talent, I didn't memorize the script, I didn't light the building, I didn't run the camera. I'm just sitting there picking what I think is like the best shots, and I'm telling people, oh, hey, it's like that's great, but like nudge, move over because the graphics not gonna fit or whatever. It's like
That
I
sounds
have a vantage point that nobody else does, and I'm leveraging all of the stuff that everybody else is doing, and I'm the most valuable guy because the whole program doesn't work without me.
the perfect
And
analogy for this is a movie director. Like they're not actually the ones filming, they're not actually doing the editing, they're not doing the acting, they're not doing anything,
mhm,
but they get paid a crap ton of money for doing it because
they just
film is
have the
not.
idea, they have the vision in their head, and they're like, okay, out of all the stuff you show me, that is the most aligned with what I'm seeing. It's like, let's go, like do a bunch of versions of that. And then same thing with the actors. It's like, okay, here's the core of what you're supposed to be doing. Go like act something out like that. And then you're just telling people how to align the work that they're doing already into a cohesive whole. Like that's what I'm good at. And I think that's what you're doing for me that I can't do for myself. It's like I'm the camera guy or like I'm the set painter. It's like I can do one thing at a time. It's really slow for me to be to like, okay, I'm gonna go do this thing, and then I'm gonna go do this thing, and then I'm gonna go do this thing, and then I'm gonna do this thing, and then stand back and like look at the whole thing and be, all right, well, you need to fix it. Like I could do that by myself, but it would be like 100 times slower. Whereas like if I'm doing something, it's like I can verbally rough out what I'm doing and thinking and working on, and you respond and be like, okay, well, you're an idiot. Just like go do the work instead of guessing, or like, where it's like, hey, there's something there, and I can like refine the idea without having to do it. So it's just like, yeah, you're doing something very valuable, and it seems like it's not a lot of work, but it's like, I mean, that's how I think of my job when I'm directing. It's like I'm the guy, I just get to walk in and be like, all right, you guys ready? It's like I'm gonna hit record, and then you guys do your job, and I'm gonna like press the buttons. And like that's really valuable in the process. But that's what I want to help people do, is like get to the point where all they have to do is press a button, and that equivalent of pressing the button in their business is going to get them clients.
Hmm. Okay, so if we use this analogy, but for business, it would be like being the CEO of like you're in charge, but you don't actually really do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what we're helping people do with, like the whole process of launching, growing, monetizing, and automating the Facebook group is like it allows you to build the client getting business and
Mm-hmm.
then step away from it to do whatever you want. Like
Yeah.
if you're selling courses and you have a funnel, then you don't really need to do anything else. If
Mm-hmm.
you're a coach, then you need to focus on coaching because that's your passion, that's what you do. So it's like
Yeah.
we're helping them set up that process and step away from it so
Yeah.
they can be free to do whatever they want to do or whatever they're good at.
Mm-hmm.
And like we don't need to keep talking about it, but I think like there's something to that whole idea that I had before of like, finding funnels, replicating them, building it out into a profitable business, and then handing it off to someone.
That idea is such a good idea. And what I was thinking the other day or this morning, I thought of it at some point. I was like, what that idea is, we should do as like, maybe I should do as Facebook groups. It's like if you have the proven research of like, this is what gets people's attention, or like, this is the promise that works, create a bunch of groups with like, so it's like, here's the promise, let's do 100 versions of ways to say that as a Facebook group that people can find publicly. And it's like, if it's already proven to get people's attention, if it's already proven to work, then you just have to create it, and then maybe people will show up. Maybe people will, I don't know. The I think there's something to the idea of like um creating pre-built structures, and then instead of us running it and that being our successful business, it's like, who's in this niche? It's like, what if I handed you a business that was already working? It's like, I've already got an audience, I've already got people, I'll give it to you for a share of like, it's that thing of like, we were trying to figure out, how do you find leads, how do you get leads? It's like, it's possible that if we find the right like 2-3 words that people are already looking for, and it's irresistible enough to like get them to join, it will build itself.
Okay, I just had potentially a genius idea because my strategy was like, hire a VA and train them to be able to replicate funnels and basically build the business for you. And then you just hand it off to someone. It's like, hey, we get 50-50. So it's like, you don't have to build a business, you just run it. I just built it, I hand it to you, and I make 50%.
Uh-huh.
But what if we use that strategy, but we use that as a way to segment the business? So instead of creating separate business that we just hand off, we create separate portions of one big business and just hand each portion off to an individual person. So it's the equivalent of hiring someone to be in charge of a division of your company, but you don't actually need to pay them, you just split the profits. So it's like, it's the same concept of like, hey, I'm giving you a pre-made business, but with the added benefit for you of everything is interconnected and promoting each other. So
Yeah.
make the thing way more successful.
I wonder if there's a way to make it valuable enough to people. And maybe it isn't. I don't know.
And I'm also wondering, like, maybe the giving it away strategy is not the best, because then you might like have some people who are like, well, yeah, I want a free business, but they're not actually willing to do the work.
That's what I'm wondering, is like, I wonder if you could get them to pay you to, it's like if you can qualify a commitment level, and it's like you almost get paid to do, like, to run the experiment, so to speak, or to like to, it's like if you could run an organization or a network of micro businesses or fully fledged businesses that are kind of in JV partnerships, where the whole thing is just self-fulfilling and promoting, and people are paying you to have access to that experience. It's like in their minds, what they're getting is so valuable. I don't know.
I'm just wondering, because from my perspective, it's like, okay, it's a really good offer of like, hey, do you want a free business? But the thing is, you might get some people who aren't ready for that, who aren't qualified, who don't want to do the work. So it's like, if you charge for it, let's say like, hey, you want to buy a business for 10,000 bucks. It's like pre-made, we're making this much per month. All you have, like, I'm going to teach you how to run everything, and you just run it and we split the profits 50-50. Like, I feel like if someone's like, yes, I'm serious enough to pay like 5, 10,000, whatever the amount is, they're going to be fully committed to that.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're like, hey, it's 10,000 bucks to buy a company or a business that makes 10,000 per month, and there's a 30-day money back guarantee. So it's like, hey, buy it, I'll train you for 30 days. If you're not satisfied, I'll give you money back. If you're satisfied, then you just run the business, and every single month we each made 5,000 bucks. In 2 months, it's repaid. Like, that's a really good offer. Like, obviously it depends on the business and everything, but it's like, if it's a $10,000 per month business, it's like, even if you charge 10,000, it's like, I'm still giving you like half of that. So I'm giving you $60,000 per year. And all you have to do is very minimal work. So it's like, I think that's the next level of like, there's, done, like, you do it, like do it yourself. So it's like, I'm creating a course, you do it. There's done with you, which is like, hey, partner with me and we'll do it together. And then there's done for you. But this is like the other level above done for you. It's like done for you and I'm handing it to you. So it's not like, hey, I'm going to come in and build a business for you. It's like the business is pre-built. I'm handing it over to you.
Okay, pause there. There is a public group called I See You Don't Know Shit About Welding. That has over 500,000 people in it. It's 510,000 members, over 10 posts a day. It's a public group. It's like, the value of this is like, I get to feel superior to, it's like, I'm gonna go in that group and I'm gonna see jokes about like how crappy people's welding is. But I mean, like, I think there's something to the idea of building something around an identity that people want. And it might be as simple as feel better about yourself with this little aspect of yourself that is you know, whatever. But it's like, I think there's something to that thread, because as I've looked at like some of these public groups that are like hyper successful or like packed full of people, like there's a, okay, here's one, Keep It Real, 647,000 members. It's like, just find the best keep it real quotes, sayings, and quotations. If you do not have control over your mouth, you will not have control of your future. It's like, I don't know what that's about, but like, okay. People who want to just keep it real, I guess. People who want to read quotes. Is that what it is? People who like posting quotes. So they're attracting content creators and niching down small enough to like, this is the kind of content that you can post here. I'm not even sure, but like, dang, hundreds of likes and like 44 comments, 138 shares, tons of shares from this group. Oh, people are using this group to like just mine shareable content, basically. But this is the kind of group that Facebook will build for you. It's like, if you have that level of engagement, 2001 shares from this post, a liar will get mad at you for knowing the truth. Thinky face emoji, thinky face emoji, thinky face emoji. It's like, and this is a great example of like content that is an identity statement. It's like, I get to feel superior. It's like, yeah, people that I don't like that like are, it's like they do that. And it's like, you get to feel good about yourself. And so many people share this, 4,000 likes, 2,000 shares, 288 comments. Dang. Like ultra engaged groups. Okay, I think I need to do a case study on like mega groups on Facebook and like what are the things that they have in common. Because I think I could probably create some content around this that nobody else is really doing. It's like, here are the groups that like get organic engagement that Facebook is already growing this for you. It's like, what if you could build a group that has that kind of growth? And I mean, I don't know that I can promise that they'll be able to do that, but it's like, if we get enough people trying, maybe we can crack it. I don't know.
That's the thing, like there's so many opportunities and ways to do it that it's easy to kind of like get lost and like confused. So what's the best strategy for us to use?
I mean, I think for me, it's just literally like, whatever I feel like doing, turn it into content and share it. It's like, maybe it's not going to be super interesting to other people, but like, it gets a few eyeballs. And even if it's like one person a day that kind of starts following, it's like the compounding effect of, one in every 100 or 200 people, it's like that start paying attention to you. It's like, they're like a aggressive promoter. Like, have you heard of this dude? It's like constantly putting stuff out. I really like this person. It's like, you just have to find a few of those people. And it's like, if you get like 400 or 500 people following you, and you have like 5 or 6 people who are like rabid fans, they'll grow the thing for you. And so it's like, you just need to hit a critical mass where you finally have put together enough things that other people start to pick up what you're doing and like share and grow for you. And that's how the algorithm works. If you're doing what's successful, it has a certain threshold where when you create engagement, it promotes what you're doing. It puts you in front of more people because you're keeping people engaged on their platform.
All right. A business idea that's really dumb and really unrelated to this just came up. Because you said compound, and that made me think of Kung Pao, and then Kung Pao chicken. I'm like, ooh, what if we build a business teaching people how to sell chicken and compound their earnings So it's compound chicken. And that was the dumb business idea.
This is funny, but it has a lot less engagement because I think the principle that I'm hearing is like, okay, when I was a kid, bedtime was 9 p.m. I couldn't wait to be a grown up so I could go to bed anytime I wanted. Turns out that is 9 p.m.
Yeah,
I mean, it's funny. It works well as a joke because you open a loop and then you close it, and it's like it's sort of true. So it's like, but I don't feel like it's firing on that cylinder of like every little piece and micro bit of it is just so like working really well. And it doesn't give you any sort of like elevate your personal status. It's just a funny observation about life that is kind of in general is, that's pretty funny.
and like it doesn't incite engagement. It's like you read it, you're like, ah, it's
Yeah,
funny.
it's a
Maybe you'll
statement.
like, that's it. Like you won't leave a comment on that.
Right, exactly. Whereas like this other one that was like 2,000 shares and 288 comments, it's like a liar will get mad at you for knowing the truth. It's like people want to share their story of it's like their experience of somebody that wronged them or like show how they're better than that. It's like it just begs you to engage. Even though this is a statement, it's like it's daring you to share your perspective on this. um it's not even really that provocative. It's just like, do you want to say I'm better than you or I'm better than this theoretical person? It's like you're helping people feel good about themselves, and it's like that works. That really works.
You just made me realize something, and it's probably something you're already aware of, but what gets engagement is opening the loop and giving people the option, the opportunity to close the loop with a comment. It's like you open the loop with the post, and when
Mhm.
they comment, they're closing the loop for them. It's like every person goes through that process. So you want to create posts that open the loop and then invite people to close the loop by
that's
commenting.
that's absolutely why engagement stoking works so well. It's like if you just ask an open-ended question, it's like they kind like unless they're just tired of talking to you, it's like they kind of have to respond. So I mean, unless somebody's overwhelmed with a comment thread or they're like, I don't like this person. It's like just having a conversation where you invite them to respond again. It's like keeps the conversation going.
Yeah, and I think if that's always the strategy, then you can go in groups of like entrepreneurs and post quotes like make a post like I'm overwhelmed because dot 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 and just let people fill in the blank. It's like
Mm,
they're literally telling you this is why I'm overwhelmed. And then you use that data to be like, all right, what can I create to fill like that need?
okay, so the Facebook group we need to create is something like, this is very spitball rough, is like some sort of like badass survivors group. It's like, tell us why you're overwhelmed, but why you're gonna make it. Like, it's like, what's going on that you're like, I'm not gonna let this beat me, kind of thing. And it's like, give them an excuse to say, here's all the reasons that I have to be overwhelmed, but it's like, but I'm better than that. And so then for the people who are like, they're getting excited, they're trying to have this identity of like overcoming overwhelm, and then somebody's like, well, here's one way, here's a plan to get out of the cycle of overwhelm. It's like there's going to be so many people who the identity is being rising above overwhelm. It's like being better and beating it, that it's going to be like, well, that's exactly who I want. I'm in. If you could show me exactly what to do, it's like I'm done with this. So like maybe we just create 100 groups that are basically clickbait things, just begging people to tell us why they're better than overwhelmed. It's like you create reason for them to engage and tell you, yeah, there's something here, something about this. And I think this is why motivation groups and like inspirational quotes are so like as generic and run of the mill as that is, it's like those are some of the biggest communities, people who are just looking for inspiration and motivation. It's like or encouragement, like daily positive, blah blah blah. Um,
We could just create a group like overwhelm memes for entrepreneurs. Because like I know my ex roommate back in the day, like he used to be a member of like a crap ton of those like Facebook groups where it's just like people post memes all the time.
uh-huh.
Like, he used to love that. So it's like, what if we use that as a strategy?
Yeah, I think that would be.
Group, but then you actually provide ways for people to overcome overwhelm.
Mhm,
So it's not like, okay, I'm overwhelmed, so I need to take a break from that and just have a laugh. So I'm going to laugh at overwhelm jokes.
mhm,
But then sprinkled throughout, we actually provide values like, hey, here's a real way to overcome overwhelm.
mhm.
I don't know. I think we're trying too hard.
Maybe. No, but I think there's something here. I think if I can get, yeah, there's definitely a seed here. Because if I can get enough people to organically jump into a Facebook group as soon as it's created, like maybe the business model is like you do a launch in somebody else's group and you get 24 students for each cohort. And then the model is you get all of them to create, 12 groups, let's say. It's like just come up with 12 ways to say the thing that you're offering people help with, and then everybody joins everybody's group. So it's like the challenge is start 12 groups. We do that the first day. And then the second day is like everybody join everybody's group. And so it's like, here's the spreadsheet. Everybody, and what you do is like you have them Google the name or Google the term. I mean, Google or search in Facebook search and join it organically, not like following a link. And so then Facebook will see, oh, people are like searching and then joining this group. So if you have like this seed of organic movement, then it'll share it out to more people that it thinks might join that. And then if it's a good enough hook, if it's a good enough thing, then hopefully organic people will organically join it. And then if it like if the that's the way to validate like whether the title or not is actually attractive enough that people want to be in it. So then if you can sort of artificially model the organic engagement so that it triggers the algorithm to start, and then it's like, let me test this for you to see whether or not you actually have something that people want or not. I think that's the model, because that's what we did with the Bible Lab. Like they weren't doing anything with their channel. There was zero engagement. We during the pandemic we had to meet online instead of in person, and so we streamed the shows. So we only had like anywhere between like 20, like maybe a dozen or like 25 people actually engaging on the chat. But that engagement, like we got at least 2,000, sometimes 5 or 6,000 views per video. the first time we would stream it. And there wasn't really any follow-up engagement because we had crappy SEO, like no hook in our marketing in terms of like the titles, but because there was organic engagement, YouTube just kept sharing out to more and more people. And because we didn't have what the audience wanted, nobody else joined our thing. It's like it spread it out to like 500,000 people over the summer just to see like these guys are doing something's right. So does anybody else want in? It turns out nobody else did because it was too exclusive in terms of its language, and the marketing wasn't really truly accessible to a wider audience. But if you built the groups to be accessible to a wider audience and then initially invest organic engagement into every single group, it's like people are joining, people are starting to post, and then it's like you just stand back and like see what the algorithm picks up, and does any of them take off? I think that would be possible to try. I just don't know, like, unless you get people who are willing to try it.
Yeah, like I wonder what the strategy is, because like I've experienced the algorithm working for you on YouTube. Like once I posted a video, it's like it was a short, but it's like I saw like maybe half an hour later, like, oh, a bunch of people watching. It's like I was watching, I was refreshing. It's like every couple of seconds I'd refresh. It's like 10 more, 20 more, 30 more people were watching. It's like it would just go and go, 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 go. It's like, how do you create that? It's like, okay, every once in a while you just get lucky, you post something, it's like people watch, and it's like, it's a very short period. Within a couple hours, it's like, it just kind of like, flatlined and it was over. But it's like during that period, it's like the algorithm's like, oh, there's 10 people watching it right now. Let me show a crap ton of people. And just like, it went off like so fast.
Wow.
So it's like, okay, it was only like 3,000, but it's like within like an hour or like a 2 max, like a very short span of time. And it just went up so quickly. So it's like, how can you replicate that? How can you create that effect yourself rather than just kind of crossing your fingers and hoping?
I think that's what, okay. I wonder if how do I do that? Okay, so what I was thinking is during a webinar, if I set a timer like 45 seconds or like 90 seconds or something, and just keep triggering it, like keep pressing the timer. It's like as a reminder, it's like what we're talking about is get clients, reduce overwhelm. Just say that over and over, like continue to pepper so like no matter what point people jump into the webinar, it's like within a few moments you're going to hear the like reduce overwhelm, get clients. It's like if that's what you're looking for, I'm talking about it. But I'm going to start there and see what happens.
I mean, we could even have that catchphrase or whatever catchphrase makes sense in like a footer at the bottom of every single slide on the webinar. Like throughout the entire presentation, it's like it's there in front of them.
Yeah. Get clients with zero overwhelm. I mean, that's the promise.
Whatever phrase makes sense, and we might want to like workshop that and try different versions and see what people are saying. But I feel like if
damn. Okay, so the copywriting thing that we said is like, how do you say it a million different ways? I need like a bank that's sitting in front of me, like instead of reading off a prompter, I have a cue card with just here's the cycle of things I just alternate with. So it's like every 30 seconds, I'm saying get clients in a different way, but it's like, here's the top 10 ways that my market has actually said this in their words. And I'm just like doing variations on, so I'm like repeating back to them. I'm just becoming a mirror for the group. So if I can find how are people saying get clients and I'm overwhelmed in this group, in the Freedom Initiative group, then I just do the webinar and it's like every slide needs to have it have that idea embedded in it somewhere. The story needs to be about it. The words on the slide need to have it somewhere, some variation of that outcome. I need to be saying it verbally every 30 seconds, every 60 seconds, every 90 seconds, like however, some variation of that phrase or the way that, like that's what I need to be collecting and saying on the webinar. And it's like, if this one is like a bomb, it's like, I know that's what I'm building. It's like, this is the first run. We're building like the skeleton, the structure. And it's like, this is our perfect webinar. We're just like, keep polishing it, keep honing it until it's like, you can't help but like, from the minute I start opening my mouth and talking to the end of the presentation, all that you are getting and absorbing is some version of the multidimensional like idea of I can get clients without it being overwhelming. Like I can grow my business and I don't have to be stressed. It doesn't have to take time for me to be successful at my business.
And I
Like
think
what I just did there, right there, is like, that's what the webinar needs to be. Is like, I just am constantly saying what they want, which is, how would you like to have all of the benefit and none of the pain?
yeah, and I think that's the beauty of our like, you know, business philosophy. It's like, you know, being lazy, having fun, and being normal. It's like you're kind of saying the same thing in 3 different ways.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
end result is like I want to enjoy the process of building the business without all the stress that comes with it, without all the hard work. It's like being lazy, having fun. It's just like it's different aspects of the same thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's an idea that I've been thinking about. It's like, if you were best friends with your business, where you just wanted to spend time with your business all the time.
Dude. In this case, you're the business because you're doing the work.
That's true. So how can you build a business that you want to be with all the time because it's doing all the work? I mean, we could literally tell this story. But like I have a friend, he gets on a call with me, all he does is just listen to me talk for like 5 hours. And it's like we enjoy it because we're getting stuff done. Like we're learning things about marketing and about growing our business, and I'm creating content and output.
I love this idea of making your business your best friend because you enjoy spending time with them. You're willing to work if it helps them. You're willing to be honest and be like, hey, dude, like you're fucking up. Get your shit together. It's like,
Oh my
having
God.
that relationship with your business
Oh my
is
God.
exactly what we're selling, what we want.
This is the thing. Okay. So for people who have struggled connecting with other people, it's like I'm talking about community. Because but okay, I'm trying to compress this down. It's like I've struggled with
This is, hold on, this is
connecting with
it.
people
I think this
my
is it.
whole life.
If you treat the business as a best friend, then the community of that business is your best friend's family.
I think what you're saying is correct, but it's like the words are, it doesn't quite line up with what I'm, but I feel like energetically what you're saying is right. What I was gonna say is like, for people who have felt weird or alone or unable to connect, it's like part of it is because you're built to connect with something bigger than a person. It's like you need a community, you need a movement, you need a business that is your best friend. And if you're treating your business like a sugar daddy, it's like, just give me money. It's like you are not actually leaning into the biggest strength that you have. It's like you don't connect with people because you're not built to connect with people who are playing at this level. It's like you're built for this massive relationship to an entity that is bigger than one person. The people who dream big, who exist in this like I like in some level it's like as I'm becoming a millionaire, as I'm embodying like, oh, I'm becoming like the whole universe, that sort of thing. It's like those are the kinds of people that I'm seeking out. It's like those are the people I want to be friends with. I was like, oh shit, like my business is actually the kind of person I want to be friends with. It's like this complex, like magnificent, like ecosystem. Like I'm running away from all the things that I think I don't like, which is like, which is stupid because it's like, well, in order to get market feedback and find out what people want, it's like you got to go talk to people. Well, what have I been asking for my whole life? Like, I wish I had friends. I wish I had people to talk to. I wish I could help people. And it's like the actual thing that you have to do is exactly what you want, but you're telling yourself, well, I don't like sales calls, or I don't want to, call strangers or whatever. It's like, well, it's like that's you're looking like at a mirror reflection of something, and you're seeing like the back of somebody's head, but it's like you can't get to the thing that's on the other side, which if you just do this thing, you actually see the person's face, and it's like the hottest woman you've ever met, and it's and she's been looking for you. I don't know, I'm kind of going a little wild on the metaphor here, but
It's funny because what came up when you're like, you need to, you're using the whole sugar daddy analogy. I'm like, so basically what we're telling people is stop being a gold digger. And I think like the best friend is part of it, but it's also like a better representation would be probably like a child, because like it's your child. You can't just like give up on your child. Like you can, but that's not what parents do. And it's like a lot of parents are using their children to achieve the things that they weren't able to achieve.
Yeah.
Like, no, you need to treat your business as your child, but you need to create a healthy relationship with your child. You need to teach them to be independent, to have their own network, to stand on their feet. You're going to help them and encourage them and support them, but it's not about you doing the work for them. And it's not about them fulfilling whatever dream that you want. It's about doing what's best for your business because it's best for your business, not because it's best for you.
Just had an idea. I need to figure out the right way to do this. But
That, but
okay, what if the offer was literally just instead, so it's like, okay, maybe this is a disservice to people. Maybe it doesn't create enough urgency for people to take action. But maybe we can talk this out. I'm just thinking about what I'm offering people, which is like, I'll talk to you for like 2 or 3 hours if we need to like actually extract what you need to have your unique client getting message. You're going to get a week of access to my feedback, my personal swipe file, step-by-step guide, so you can fine-tune your messages for your audience. A community where you can learn from others doing this exact process. I'm like, what if instead of starting my own group, which is like a handful of people, what if I just literally did this process, kept doing this process in Brian's group? I mean, there is some value in having a group, but what if I only had a group to collect all of the testimonials and the results of stuff, but it's like I just hang out in other people's groups. Okay, I'm getting off track. What I was actually saying, what I was gonna say is like, what if you and I just had our, 3 hour long, 5 hour long discussions and talked to Brian about, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just thinking like if this was live in the group all the time, like we're talking about marketing stuff all the time anyway. I mean, it's just like part of me it feels like nobody would want to watch us talk about our stuff. I mean, part of me is just guessing. It's like nobody wants to see this. It's too much information with not enough a lot of substance. But it's like on some level, if it's like an infomercial, but I don't think it's focused enough. I feel like it's not. I don't know.
I think we're getting at the point where we're overthinking things.
Yeah,
We're trying like too hard. It's just like we just need to let it happen.
yeah. I think you're right. Oh, I know what the problem is. I'm
You got
hungry.
it?
I'm thirsty. I still haven't gone to the bathroom. It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
I'm
I think it's
I'm
time to
pretty
be
much at
done.
the same spot. The bathroom's right there too.
All right. Well, I don't care whether this is productive. This is fun. This is, and I do feel like I have, um, I'm like 40% of the way done with this thing, and I know what I need to do to finish it. So I'm good.
Sounds good.
Cool. See you
I'll
later.
go be unproductive.